Alright. This is Zonia here, checking in, showing you my 2 new beehives. 2 bee packages. And got the gear out, the beehive stands. That's a feeder there. And then we've got a, I forget the name of that, a reducer or something like that, entry reducer. And here's the box I'm going to be putting on top. I'm putting 10 frames in. It's a 10 frame box. Here's the other one for the second hive. And got some tools here if I need them. Bee cage, queen excluder for the front if I need it. Hopefully I don't. Brush to brush bees off, and a tool that I probably won't really need right now. Let's see, got my veil of course and gloves. Here are the frames. Here are the tops. And one thing that I did with these stands, so these are bottom boards. Now this is the bottom board, this is the stand. You don't need a stand necessarily, but I've got one. I put a little riser in the back because when it rains, you don't want water to pool up in it. So hopefully it's enough of a slope. It is not, so I'm going to have to raise it up more. Let's see if this one works. Seems to be going downhill. That's good. Good. Better than nothing. So I'll raise this one up a little bit more. Seems like the ground is not as level as I thought it was originally. Alright, anyway, I'm going to switch cameras to the one on the tripod and you can watch what I'm doing. Alright, Zonia here. So, I'm losing the light, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this, but I wanted to document it and share this with other people. This is my first time beekeeping, and well, all I know is from videos I've watched and a professional beekeeper whom I know and just came back from their apiary today. Make sure you can see enough in there. Yeah. So I don't really have any experience. This is my first time working with a beehive, and I'm going to be transferring these bees into this hive. And I've got another one off to the side here that I'm also going to be working on. But in the meantime, I need to get the frames in. I've done some basic research into bees, you know, like anybody should. Watching YouTube videos. Barnyard Bees is probably the one that I watch the most, so I recommend checking out that channel. That channel has a lot of beehives, and I have learned a lot from it. Alright, need to make a little bit of a gap here. So, I'm going to prepare the other box here out of frame. Probably just skip to the good stuff in the edits. Okay. So I'm running out of light, So I can't go into a lot of detail. And I don't want to be trying to deal with bees when it's dark. Fortunately, I do live up on a hill, and I have good westerly exposure, so I get more light than a lot of people would in this area later on in the evening. I think it's about 7 o'clock right now. And still got plenty of light to work with, at least for the next 30 minutes. Just putting on the veil right now. So I don't have bees flying into my face. Bees have settled down quite a bit because it's colder right now. The air is cooled down, and the sun is going down past the horizon. Gloves. So when I was at the apiary earlier with the beekeeper whom I bought these bees from, I was with him while he was working on transferring a few bee packages to hives, and I didn't wear any gloves while that was going on. He wore gloves, but I didn't. I wasn't the one invading the hives, so I figured, well, I probably don't need them. Sure enough, I didn't. Plenty of bees landed on my hands, which were exposed skin, but none of them stung me. They seem to just be finding places to land to figure out the lay of the land and where they are. All right, bee package number 1. We'll call this Pink Beehive because that's the color I painted the boxes. This is just a little feeding tank. It's going to have a bunch of bees on it. Yeah, look at that. Bees. Just going to set this aside. Alright, let's make sure that this is in frame properly. See that? Yeah. This little tab here is the tab of the queen cage. This little drone, it looks like. Hello, drone. Alright, let's get this little queen out. Excuse me, guys. Looks like the cork is still in there. There's a cork in there to contain the queen. The queen is hanging out in there somewhere. And we can set this aside for now. Just gotta make sure that the queen is in there. Looks like it. Oh yeah, there's a queen in there, alright. Probably can't see that from here. She's right in there. So I just need to get her situated into here. I don't want to squish any bees if I don't have to. Apparently you want to place the queen cage somewhat back. You want to pinch it between two of these frames. This requires a little more dexterity than I currently have with these gloves on. Excuse me, little bee. This tool I don't really need right now. Normally this tool is only for when you're working with frames that have some comb on it, and they get a little sticky from the resin that the bees make and spread all over the place. Let's see. Not properly wedged into there. Obviously beginner mistakes are going to happen here. Hopefully I don't kill too many bees. Normally I'd want to close it more, but I'm not going to make a lot of comb. I'm going to leave them like this for a couple of days so that they get familiar with the hive. The queen in particular gets familiar with the hive. See, there's a bee fanning right there trying to send out the signal, the chemical signal of the queen to the other bees so that they know that the queen is here, because I've moved the queen. Hopefully this will stay. Oh, I'm sorry, little bee. Don't want to hurt them. I mean, you can always lose some bees, right? There's plenty. They breed like crazy. And they breed like rabbits. Alright, so now we just gotta dump a bunch of bees into here. Here's the messy part. With all the bees in here. Woo! Tons of bees. When I was watching the beekeeper do this, I was like, geez, I mean, poor bees. Fortunately, there aren't too many dead ones in here. That's good. Hello, little bees. They don't want to come out. See, the guys are sending out the signal for the queen. Let's see if that's in frame. Yeah. Probably a little hard to see without me zooming it in. Still so many bees in here. Bees kind of hold themselves together. And it can be a little difficult to make them break apart. Zoom in, see if you can see the these little bees here. They got their abdomens in the air, and then they're batting their wings like that. What they're doing is sending out the queen's scent or pheromone to tell the other bees that the queen is over here. Now, I may make mistakes. I apologize for that in advance. Like I said, this is my first time with a beehive. But I'm going to try and give you as accurate information as I can. really don't want to come loose. Well, hopefully they'll all go toward the queen. I can prepare one of the other boxes. I'll fix up some of this in the edits. And I'll let them just kind of do their thing. Move some of these bees over here. Excuse me. I want to scoot this in more. If I can do this, maybe I can get the bees to follow the queen. Alright then. I'm not leaving yet. Oh, they're starting to go toward the queen. There we go. See these guys? They're moving in that direction. They're going toward the queen. That's good. Yeah, it looks like most of them are moving out of here too. I don't like working on 2 hives at once. Migrating more? Yep, starting to. You guys loosen up. There's a lot of bees in here. Well, they are strong. There we go, got some of them loose. This one's fanning like it knows where the queen is, but the queen isn't there. Look at that. See, it's fanning, bracing itself, sticking its butt in the air and fanning. That's what it does to say, hey, the queen is over here. But it's not there. So what I'm supposed to do once I get enough of these guys out, I'm supposed to set this bee package aside somewhere out of the way, because it's going to have the scent of the queen on it, and some of the bees are going to have it. You know, the bees are going to remember that the queen is there too. They're going to be fanning the remnants of her scent out to the other bees, and we don't want them to try and, you know, we don't want them going over to this bee package. All right. Yeah, strong. A lot of buzzing going on there. Alright, then we want to work on two at once. We don't want to have to risk a bunch of bees migrating over to one hive. But I think I'm going to have to do that. These are all migrating out. I've still got some that are fanning over here, trying to say that the queen is over in here. I doubt that there's a second queen in there. And who knows, maybe one slipped in now. There's enough of them going over there though, so I think we're good. Okay, here, let's see if I can get the last of these bees out, or near enough. Oh yeah, there we go. They kind of hunker down if you shake them a bunch. But if you kind of let them start moving around for a while, you get a false sense of comfort and security, and then you can shake them more. And these guys are all holding on. No, sorry, bees. Alright, check this out. Gotta listen to these guys. These ones are really loud. Listen to them. My goodness. There's some loud bees. And loud cars. Sorry about that. This isn't the best quality mic. Picks up a lot of stray noise. But gets the job done, I guess. That's where the queen is. Right there. That's it. Isn't they cute? Who doesn't love bees, huh? Never met a bee I didn't like. Look at them go. Let's do what we can to finish this up. I'm losing the light rapidly here. The sun has passed the horizon as far as I know. So it's only a matter of minutes before it goes completely dark in here. Sorry, bee. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. I crushed a bee. Fortunately for me, the queens were not free from their cages, so that's good. When I was with the beekeeper, one of the bees, one of the packages that he was transferring to a hive of his own, one of the queen cages had lost its cork and the queen got out. Fortunately, we spotted the queen before she got away, and he put her in one of these little clamshell queen trap things, queen cage, queen trap. And then he used that to secure her and put her in the hive. Little bees. Alright, time to get these guys. These guys are stubborn. They don't want to go in. Somebody over here is angry and trying to dig into this and attack it. You see that? It's in the fibers, just going after the brush, trying to attack it. Unhappy bee. Oh, he's happy now. She is. That's a worker. Workers are always female. I think I accidentally trapped a bee here. I'm sorry. Oh, I don't think it's gonna live. These guys are a little more settled in, so that's good. Alright, Now for the tops. So these are telescoping tops. That's what they're called. They got this protective coating on them. You want to get that off before you let them go. So I don't know what's going to work best here. If it's going to be best if I put the top on and then peel it off. Doesn't really work well with gloves, does it? Dropped one of the feeders. Alright. I have ladybugs on this top. Look at that. Little ladybug there. 2 of them. Or more. They flew off. Little ladybug there. Cute, huh? Alright. Let's see if we can get this thing off. Do this without the gloves. Damn. Excuse me. Not easy. After this, I gotta go in, make some dinner, watch Game of Thrones, and then I gotta run a diagnostic on my friend's guitar amplifier. I think has been crapping out on him, and he's got a live gig on the 11th, next weekend basically. He needs someone to fix it for him. He does have a backup amp, but it isn't the most satisfying amp to use in a live venue, not at the current volumes that they play at. So I'd like to get his Marshall 210 head fixed for him soon if I can. Based on his description, I'm guessing it's probably just the power tubes. But we'll run the diagnostic later on tonight or tomorrow morning. And we'll see what the real deal is. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. I should have the right power tubes on hand to just swap them out if that's the case and give it right back to him. I don't know what tubes are currently in it. Sounds like it might be stock, like it may never have been had the tubes replaced. By the way, if you're wondering about these little things, these port restrict, I don't know what they're called. I gotta look that up. Don't quote me on this stuff. I'm still new. Total noob. But if you're wondering what those are for, basically, when a bee colony is being transferred, there's a lot of die-off. So a lot of bees die off, and the colony isn't as strong as it normally would be if they were out there foraging and stuff, and the queen were laying eggs. Laying larvae. So what this does is it just narrows the opening so that the colony doesn't have to fight off or fend off such a wide area You want to wait until the colony is stronger and it has more guards that can defend the entrance. Hello, bee. So, the thing to do is to just check on the hive periodically. Look at the comb, make sure there's enough brood, look at how many have hatched, make sure there's a good number of bees standing guard, and if it looks like they can defend a larger opening, then you just take that thing out. And there you go. They're a full-fledged 100% strength colony. And, I don't know, tips, feeding, this is sugar water basically, it's 1-to-1 sugar water. Apparently you're supposed to use refined white sugar. I wanted to use like natural, you know, unrefined sugar, as, you know, most of us would probably want. But apparently what's better for the bees is the refined stuff. It doesn't have any extra particulates in there that they have to deal with. You don't want any molasses, brown sugar, or anything like that. So that's what these things are. These are feeding trays. A jar sticks on top of them and it just trickles some sugar water down into there through these little holes, perforations in the lid. And then they use that to get sort of a head start on building the comb. And probably going to have to tape that in because it's not very stable. There's a little bee there already. Well, anyways, I'm going to go in, make them some sugar water. Looks like I didn't need these front side queen excluders. That's good. That means I get to use the sugar water right off the bat. If I had to use these, which would be if the queen got free from her cage, then I wouldn't be able to use the sugar water for a little while. Not until they had gotten established in the hive. So this is good. They'll be able to get a head start on the work. Be happy bees. I'm going to leave these feed cans for them nearby the opening. I don't know, maybe I could like put this there. Oh, is it stable? Not really. I gotta tape these in. I'll probably just transfer this stuff. Actually, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. What do you got here? Dead bee? Yeah. Alright, taking these in. Anyways, that's enough for now. Alright. I'm going to tape these into place. Hopefully it'll work. I guess. Let's see. Doesn't quite go in the way I wanted it to. I'm going to have to take them back out and shave them down a bit. Excuse me, little bee. Excuse me, excuse me. Excuse me. Alright, try doing another one. Don't want any excess tape sticking out from this because I don't want the bees to get stuck on it. So I want all the adhesive side to be adhered to something and not stray. Let's see if that works. Get a bottle. Seems to work. All right. We have success. Good morning, everybody. Zonia here. All right. So after I finished up last night, I realized that I did something wrong. And I wanted to correct it right then and there, but the problem is it was just too dark. Even if I came out with a flashlight, I really didn't want to be messing around in the dark here. So it's about the queen cages and the way that I situated them. The queen cages have a screen on one side, and that screen needs to face this way or this way, either way. But the frames inside the box are lined up like this. And her cage, I think her screen is facing into one of the frames right now. The problem is the workers can't feed the queen if that's the case, because they don't have access to the screen. It's wedged up against one of the frames, and they need to be able to spit royal jelly into the queen's mouth. So I gotta fix that. So the queens have been here for the past 8 hours or so. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. When the hell did I finish? It was around 9 o'clock, I guess. Somewhere close to 9. It's a little more than that. And obviously it rained a little bit. So you get to check and see whether or not I set these things up properly. Hey bees. Sorry to disturb you. See, they got a little threatening posture there, sticking their abdomens up in the air without flapping their wings. They've got something to defend now, a hive. They don't have any brood, though. I want to knock them loose because it's cold out. Hey guys, good morning. Let's make sure that the queen is accessible. Make a little room here by taking this one out. B. Hey guys. all holding themselves together and creating warmth. There's the queen cage. I know. Good morning. A lot of dead ones in the bottom of the box there. Well, they're clustered around the queen. That's a good sign. All right. Let's get a little access to this side. I don't want to hurt these little guys. There you go. Yep, so her screen is on this side. So the only way to make this work, I think, is I think what he had to do was those are my drip lines watering all the plants. I see what they're doing. They're feeding her now. So she's still doing well in there, that's good. Alright. I'm just going to have to pinch her between. Excuse me. There we go. That's just the way that I'll have to do it for now. Sorry, bees. One of them peed on me, to the bathroom on me. Okay. Alright guys, let's put you back in. The frames are a little uneven right now. There's probably not too big of a deal. There we go. Yeah, well, I need to get this thing off. That's silly. Is that right? Yeah. This guy. There's a wet sleepy bee on the top of this one over here. Let's see if we can get it off. Clearly some of these guys had to go to the bathroom there, making a mess on me. There's a queen. Cute little guy. It's like one of them might have tried to sting me there. And we got one more bee down. Sorry, guys. Get as many of them back into the box as I can. Oops. There we go, problem solved. Queen is now accessible. Little bees and going back in. But before I do that, I want to show you something. So I left the bee packages out here. And all the bees have clustered together. So we got a couple clusters of bees there. And cluster over here. Cluster of bees here. Little cluster here. Hopefully they'll all go into the hive soon. Well, anyways, this is Zonia signing off. Zonia here. Alright, so I looked out my window and I saw all the bees were active. This morning I had done some little bit of maintenance on the hive to adjust the queen cages. And they were all pretty dormant because it was cold. It was really early morning. The sun hadn't come up yet. So then just a few minutes ago I looked out my window over there and I saw all the activity here and I was overjoyed. Seeing all these little bees doing their thing. They're kind of moving in a spiral motion. They're just trying to figure out where the heck they are. Learn the lay of the land. I'm not protected right now, so I don't want to get too close. I've already had a few bees land on me, checking me out, and I'm like, well, rather not get stung. But so far, they're pretty docile. But this is so cool. Hopefully the clusters of bees down there will migrate into their respective hives. Well, it's looking good. Team Pink, Team Lavender. Welcome to my yard.